It's great to see Coach. I'm so happy for his locker room, right? Happy for his staff, happy for the Auburn family, and his approach this week was that we talked about that, and it just reminded me again of my first season. KT Harrell and that group so badly wanted to be a part of the turnaround, whether it be in culture or the way we trained. It certainly could not be in winning championships right away. That wasn't going to be the turn. But my first team knew that we were going to get it going. They didn't know when, and they didn't know how big a part of it they would be. But they desperately wanted to be a part of that history. And we can all look back to our first year and go, that team didn't quit. They won 3 games in the SEC tournament down the stretch. And they were part of the rebuild. And that's what this football team is doing right here, right now, and this program. And so got a lot to play for. So for us, as we head into, our exhibition on Wednesday, I'm glad how Marlene is able to, always will teach this way, but reminded me that I don't know whether it's the last time we played Alabama Montgomery or basically the 2006 Alabama University of Auburn Montgomery beat Auburn Montgomery beat Auburn 69-64. And I guess it was the only meeting between the two schools. So we're ready to play somebody else. We did have a private scrimmage on Sunday, and without going into the details, because we're not allowed, we played well. We played really hard, and we played well, and we were excited about playing somebody else. And I think that'll be the case again on Wednesday.
Coach, you obviously got some new pieces this season. Can you talk about the new guys and how they've aided in establishing a winning culture so far this year? What you're doing with those guys?
It's the formula remains the same. I keep promising my returning players that I'm going to bring guys into the locker room that they're going to want to be friends with, that they're going to want to play with, that they're going to want to try to win championships with. And so I think, based on the summer and the preseason, I think that's been definitely, that chemistry has been a part of it. So the way Aiden Holloway and Trey Donaldson have worked, at the point guard position together, to learn and grow and challenge, because they're both really young. The way KD and Denver, have competed, and Aiden brings a ability to really shoot the ball, and he's got some wow factor in his game, but he's still a freshman quarterback. Denver Jones is a very versatile player. He can do it at both ends of the floor. He can do it off the bounce, at the foul line, from 3, play make. He is a really, really solid combo guard that's got a chance to be one of our better players. Chad Baker has just got it. He's got the it factor. He knows how to play. He knows how to move. He's going to have very interesting stat lines. You're going to see him, I think very often have a very high assist turnover ratio. You're going to see him blocking some shots. You're going to see him really high in the plus minus categories, because he makes a lot of winning plays, just knows how to play. And he and Chris Moore right now have been really good at that wing spot. Chaney Johnson you talk about his level of excitement all fall. He's treated every single day like it was his birthday, like just so excited to be at Auburn, having come from Division II and been on a bus and now going to Auburn and getting on a plane. He's prepared for that by John Shulman at Huntsville, and now he wants to take advantage of it here. He's one of my best athletes, and you never would think you could say that about a Division II transfer. Maybe we're not athletic enough. That's a possibility, but he really is. And just wants to be coached and one of our hardest workers. That's an accounting of our new guys. And AD's been great in practice, helping us get ready.
So I know at SEC Media Day, they're talking about kind of not having a starting lineup yet, looking at kind of a rotation of 10 guys. Are you still kind of at that rotation? Do you have a sense of who that 5 is going to be?
Yeah. I think with this group, it's got a chance to be combinations. Like what should Jalen Williams and Dylan Carwell play together? And should Cheney Johnson and Janai Broom play together? And for whatever reason, we like that combination. As opposed to this is our starting 5. Our starting 5 may not end the game. I can tell you, though, there'll be a ton of parity. More than any team that I've coached, I would say the balance of minutes will be the greatest on this team of any team I've coached. And I've played 10 guys double-digit minutes my entire career. And yet, I think, so we won't drop off much when we go to the bench. And again, our starter's good enough. That's going to wind up being a question because there's just not a lot of drop-off. Maybe probably a little bit of both.
Bruce, in the open practice the other day, Chris really stood out like with getting to the line, but also his defense and his rebounding, playing more of the 3 again this year. What have you seen for him this offseason as a veteran on this team taking that step? Well,
Chris missed the entire summer with that shoulder surgery, so he was away from the skills aspect of it, shooting the ball, handling, things like that, while he was rehabbing. And yet he's done a great job this fall kind of getting caught up. Chris at the 3 gives us a more physical presence. He can play the 4 because he's so tough, but he gives away tremendous size in the SEC. At the 3, he doesn't give away size to anybody. And so he can big boy any matchup he has at guard any night. That level of toughness is important. I think he also is a great communicator. Like Chris does a great job defensively when he's on the floor, communicating his own actions and getting the other guys in the right spots. And that's part of being a veteran.
Bruce, what do you see at AUM when you look at him on film? I know last year UAH was good 3-point shooting. You guys are matching up with Cheney. What are the factors of this team that you look at?
Yeah, they're athletic. I think they don't have great depth from what we can tell so far, but their starters are going to be good. They'll mix it up between athleticism and ability to shoot the basketball. So we only got one look at them, so we really don't know. I think this one is going to have to be more about us and getting ready for the season, as opposed to it's not going to be as heavy focus on the scout as it is going to be what do we need to do to get better. Like I'm going to work on some things I'm clearly going to work on some things in this game that we need work on, as opposed to the best way to beat Auburn Montgomery.
We've seen the skill of Jennifer Jones before he got to Auburn. We know Trey Donaldson's offensive skills, and then Aiden Holloway, who is going to be a young superstar. All of those guys on the offensive floor, on the offensive side of the floor, we know what they're going to be. What have you seen from those guys defensively, since they're going to be guarding some really, really good point guards and shooting guards in the SEC?
Yep, that's going to be our greatest challenge. Will be our guards guarding their guards, and all I can say is that they're working at it. We recognize the challenge because of the quality of the people we're going to be playing against. There have been rule changes regarding the secondary defender coming over and taking charges, and so that's really, I think you're going to see across the country a real move in the offensive number. I think the offensive number is going to go significantly up because of this rule change. In other words, again, that secondary offender, that guy that's not guarding the ball, if their guy's beat and that guy comes over, back in the day, it was close, it was a charge. Right now, when that guy comes over, just without getting into specifics of the rule, if it's close, it's a block, and it'll be a block all day. And so as a result of that, I think there'll be less rotation. I think there'll be more one-on-one play. Verticality is going to be important. But I think guys are going to get to the rim easier, and which I think will increase scoring.
Last year it was mostly Janai as far as on the boards. Who are you counting on to really help out rebounding this year?
I think everybody's got to rebound. I mean, I think the guards have got to do perimeter checkouts, and sometimes it's almost like rebounding is almost like defensive linemen trying to keep the offensive line occupied so that your linebackers can make tackles. In other words, if our guys can perimeter check out and stop guys from running to the boards, Janai or Dylan can go clean up the board. But if there's a bunch of guys that are all flying in, and he goes up and they go up and there's contact, it's a 50-50 ball. If we can cleanly get those guys from running off the perimeter, then our big guys on the inside can handle it. And of course, if you're playing against a team that shoots a lot of threes, long shots, long rebounds, and now it becomes a guard rebounding game. Everybody's got to rebound.
Bruce, last year you were 12 from three-point land and you shot 31% as a team. Personnel-wise this year, do you believe that you guys can be more efficient from behind the arc?
Yes. It's a great question. I'm not being short for any particular reason. Yes. Going to make me look like a lot better coach offensively.
Appreciate the trade. How much have you seen him improve his game, especially offensively?
Yeah.
After getting that experience last year.
Yeah, Trey's really improved. He has. He always had. He's a tremendous athlete. He was a great football player, better baseball player, and really good basketball player. I said it to him a lot just to give him a hard time. But basketball is a sport he loved. That's what he wanted to play. And so he came in last year. His ability to compete, his physical body, being a good athlete, he was able to play. But to be a great quarterback, to be a great point guard, he had a lot. He still does, but he had a lot to learn. Offensively, playmaking, and defensively. He worked hard in this game. He's shooting the ball really well, so you got to guard him. And if you have to guard him, then that's going to open him up as a playmaker. So I think that's the one thing, again, about our offense is we've got guys you have to guard in the perimeter. And that just opens the floor up for more opportunity to attack the basket. So, but Trey's been really coachable, and but he's improved a great deal.
We'll take 3 more questions for.
There's a few times we've talked to Jalen here in the preseason. He's talked about that competition with Chaney and how both of them just keep motivating each other and picking up. What have you seen in particular from that battle with a guy like Jalen who's played so much here, bringing a guy like Chaney in,
Yeah.
like you said, who's making the jump from D2?
Chaney, when you fly around defensively, you can be really good in our system. And Chaney flies around. Dylan Cardwell flies around. KD flies around. We've got some other guys that'll do it too. And so Chaney has really showed up on the defensive end. And in rebounding. He's really athletic, so he's able to, and as they both are. Those are 2 of my best athletes, Jalen Williams and Chaney Johnson. Jalen is a better passer and playmaker, and will have a way better assist turnover ratio. And because Jalen doesn't fly around as much, won't foul as often. Chaney, my guess will be foul trouble will be an issue for him because of how hard he plays and how active he is, which I think is a good thing. So actually they do a great job of kind of complementing each other.
Yes, Bruce, you talked a lot in preseason about the competition at point guard. Where does it sort of stand right now, and have you picked a starter yet?
Well, we're going to start a point guard on Wednesday, but whoever starts or whoever comes off the bench, that'll be, it'll be. We'll have either Aiden or Trey out there, and part of the thing we also have to do is kind of work on who is who's playing behind those guys. We have two guys at point and working on a third guy. Because the twos and the threes are the exact same position, I kind of got 5 or 6 guys. The fours and the fives, I've kind of got 4 or 5 guys. And so trying to develop depth, I think, is going to be really important. And again, not to be kind of cute or funny, one of those guys is going to start, and one of those guys is going to finish, and it may not be the same guy, and it may not be the same guy every night.
Bruce, you mentioned how important that second wave could be for you all off the bench this season. KD's second half of last year, 40% from three, something like that, playing good defense.
Katie was?
Katie, yes. What did you see in his game in that part of last year, and how do you think maybe he can translate that into another year with y'all, because he's now one of the veterans on this team?
Yeah, Katie's shooting it better this year, more consistently. I think part of the reason he's been in the gym pretty good, just getting shots, and when he does shoot volume and he gets on that gun, he has shot it. He shot it better. And of course now, again, with the rule changes, KD should be able to get to the rim more, and that's something I actually am wanting him to do more. But because he's shooting it better, he's still shooting it. Whereas I got a lot of guys that can shoot it. I don't have many guys that can get to the rim like he can.